Recently, many of Taehyung's followers noticed something interesting. Jungkook appeared wearing the same outfit he had worn that day when he went shopping with Taehyung. To anyone, it might seem like an insignificant detail, but those who have followed him for years know that these coincidences are frequent. This isn't the first time they've shared clothes, brands, or styles. When we saw them together on that outing, it was clear that they both enjoy choosing things that complement each other. It wasn't just about wearing something similar. Looking at them, it seemed like they were thinking about how to fit in with each other. The colors, the cuts, even the brands seemed chosen with some intention. Since then, every time they've matched their style of dress, it once again becomes clear that they share something special that transcends the obvious. During a recent Jungkook live stream, something similar happened. As he spoke casually, some noticed that the seat he was using was practically the same as one Taehyung had. It may seem like a simple object, but for those who closely follow Taekook's story, these kinds of things carry weight. It's not just a matter of style, but of maintaining a connection that is reflected in the most everyday details. These signs, which at first glance may seem small, have been repeated so many times that it's hard to miss them. Clothes, accessories, furniture, everything ends up having something in common. It's as if, in some way, they seek to remain connected even when they're not in the same place. And even if they don't say it directly, these repetitions speak for themselves. Over the years, some people have wanted to see Taekook's relationship as a mere coincidence or as part of something planned. However, those who have observed closely know that the naturalness with which they appear together doesn't fit with that idea. There are shared glances, smiles, and gestures that simply can't be fabricated. Every time Jungkook takes a piece of clothing out of the closet that reminds us of a moment shared with Taehyung, he silently revives that memory. Sometimes it's a t-shirt, other times an accessory or a common object, but there's always a thread that unites them. For fans, that invisible thread is what confirms that their connection never fades with time. The most curious thing is that no matter how much time passes or how busy they are, a detail always appears that brings them back together before the eyes of those who follow them. It could be something at an event, a coincidence in a video, or a simple object. And while some prefer to downplay it, for those who believe in their story, each piece fits into a larger whole. Talking about Taekook isn't talking about empty rumors, but about the way two people show, in their own way, that they are connected. They do it with simple gestures, with choices that seem spontaneous, and with a complicity that is perceived in the most unexpected moments. That's why their bond remains so evident, because it needs no explanation, it's self-explanatory. Recently, a topic that caused quite a stir within the fandom began circulating on social media again. It all started when a girl on TikTok said she'd seen Taehyung, Jungkook, and J-Hope in Los Angeles. She even claimed to have a video of that moment and promised to upload it right around Jungkook's birthday. Obviously, many were paying attention because seeing the members outside of their official activities always sparks curiosity. The day arrived, and as promised, she posted the video. But as soon as it came out, something caught everyone's attention. There was a cut. Jungkook and J-Hope were seen getting into the car, while Taehyung was already sitting inside, but in the shared recording, he had practically disappeared. The editing was so obvious that many people noticed immediately. The strange thing is that the decision made no sense. Both Taehyung and J-Hope had previously uploaded photos and videos showing them shopping together. It was no secret, so why cut the video? The conclusion of many was clear: the girl was just looking for attention, likes, and followers. Amidst all this, fans who support Taehyung noticed the same thing as always. Every time Taehyung and Jungkook are shown hanging out, someone tries to delete or minimize it. In this case, the person deleted the very part confirming Taehyung's presence. And the worst part is that they staged everything to make it seem like the moment was only about Jungkook and J-Hope. This attitude was seen as quite disgusting. Not because Jungkook and J-Hope don't matter, but because manipulating what really happened is disrespectful to everyone. If you claim to be a fan, it makes no sense to hide a member. And even less so to use it to create rivalry. Many in the fandom pointed out that this girl actually supports J-Hope, which is why she cut TAEHYUNG. And even though she pretends to be a fan of the group, her actions show otherwise. A true fan doesn't need to delete or divide, they simply enjoy what the members share without trying to change it. The general recommendation was clear: don't give more space to such accounts and report them on TikTok and Twitter. In the end, these people are only looking to sow hate and contribute nothing positive to the community. The truth is that no matter how hard some try to hide it, the moments between Taehyung and Jungkook are still there. There's no need to search too hard. Over the years, the two have shared outings, trips, and memories that have been captured in videos, photos, and even live streams. They're simple things, but very visible to anyone who cares to see them. What happened in Los Angeles was nothing more than a failed attempt to manipulate the situation. Because if Taehyung and Jungkook go shopping with J-Hope, they themselves readily show it. And that's the difference: what they share is genuine, while what some try to hide ends up being even more noticeable. This case only made clear what many already know: within the fandom, there will always be people who want to divide, but there are also those who are in charge of pointing it out and stopping it. And no matter how much they try to erase Taehyung or Jungkook from a video, the two of them still appear together in real life, because they choose to. That's what really matters. In the many videos circulating about Taehyung and Jungkook, there's one thing that always recurs, and that many have learned to easily identify. It's not just their physical closeness or the number of times they appear side by side. It's the way they move together, as if they have a shared rhythm that no one else understands. It's as if there's an invisible thread between them that keeps them connected, no matter the place or time. When they appear in public, surrounded by people or with cameras rolling, they never seem to lose that connection. They act with a naturalness that draws attention, as if everything around them disappears for a few seconds. Sometimes, all it takes is one reaching out for the other to respond immediately. If Jungkook moves forward, Taehyung follows without a second thought, and the same happens the other way around. This coordination doesn't feel rehearsed, but rather part of something they've shared for a long time. In several recordings, you can see how they search for each other with their eyes, how they react to small gestures that others would miss. They don't need words to understand each other. These kinds of details have led many within the fandom to identify them as Taekook, a way of acknowledging the unity that is always present, even if some try to minimize it. However, there are plenty of situations in which others try to change what is shown. A clear example was the case of someone who posted a shortened video showing Jungkook and J-Hope getting into a car, but omitted the fact that Taehyung was already inside. This editing generated discomfort because it gave the impression that they were trying to hide Taehyung's presence alongside Jungkook. The unpleasant thing wasn't that Jungkook and J-Hope were in the video, because they are also important, but that someone manipulated the recording to leave one of the members out. If someone considers themselves a fan, it makes no sense to erase Taehyung. And even less so to use that cutout to strengthen other narratives, like the Jungkook, which some defend by altering the facts. Several followers agreed that this person didn't act like a true fan, even though they tried to present themselves as such. A fan supports everyone and respects the reality of what's happening. Modifying or deleting parts of a moment shared between members only makes it clear that the intention wasn't positive. The relationship between Taehyung and Jungkook has been confirmed on multiple occasions, much more clearly and without the need for manipulated evidence. Just look at how they behave in different contexts, from group activities to more everyday outings. These aren't planned scenes or fabricated gestures. What they reveal is in the small details, the way they look at each other, the way one always seems to be aware of the other, and their habit of moving as if they mirror each other. Although some people try to deny this connection, each appearance adds more evidence. These aren't isolated moments or situations that can be attributed to chance. They are repeated over and over again in different settings, reinforcing the idea that there is a strong bond between them. This bond doesn't need to be explained with speeches or clarifications. It's present in the way they accompany each other and how they seem to understand each other with just a gesture. It's a silent understanding that doesn't need to be disguised or justified. When Jungkook smiles a certain way, Taehyung responds immediately, and when Taehyung changes his attitude, Jungkook reacts almost without thinking. It's like watching a choreography that wasn't rehearsed, but that flows naturally. People who follow Taehyung closely know that this connection doesn't depend on what others want to show or erase. It doesn't matter if some cut videos or try to focus attention elsewhere. In the end, what remains is what they themselves have shared over time, real, simple, and constant moments. Even in situations where there are a lot of people around, there's always a moment when they end up getting closer. It's not something they seek to highlight, it simply happens because that's how they operate with each other. That pattern, repeated on different occasions, is what makes their closeness so evident.